Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Sophia.
That's Stormy.
And we are the
Spindrift Empire. This week we're coming to you from the Kofa Wilderness Wildlife Refuge.
Kofa Wildlife Refuge.
Kofa Wildlife Refuge in Arizona. We're just south and east of Quartzsite, Arizona, home of giant gem shows and RV shows all winter long, the snowbirds mecca. Because of it being genuinely the biggest snowbirds mecca in the country, it suffers from some of the worst self-signal congestion in the country, and the internet here is almost completely unusable. So we're going to be keeping this video short so that we can actually get it uploaded.
You were going to start out?
I guess I was going to start out. Today we talk about jobs and how that's all panning out for us. We've been keeping you up to date on the effects of the government shutdown and a little bit of the process of what we do, but it's come to the point where the process is over.
When the shutdown got lifted and we were getting bombarded with emails and calls and wheeling and dealing, it was crazy.
Yeah, we touched on that. We touched on that in the first Colorado River video, and that's why the first Colorado River video was so bad, was because we were drowning in contacts. It got to the point where I interviewed for a grade 7 maintenance position in McCall, Idaho. The government employment is on a wage grade, and the higher the number, the more money, but also the more responsibility and the more status it is. So I was a grade 5. Going to a grade 7 was a significant promotion, both in terms of financial as well as just responsibilities and, you know, what I get to do and what I get to learn. So I was very excited about that. The interview went spectacularly well. I was a shoo-in, I felt, and I just had to wait for the answer. And while I waited for the answer...
Actually, while Todd was ending his interview on the phone, and we're both pacing madly around Mitri Lake Campground where we were at, I got a phone call from Weaverville, California, and I was about to not take that call because I was all jazzed up listening to Todd, and I'm like, no, I shouldn't ignore anything, and I took that call, and that changed things significantly.
Sure
because at first I was offered a recreational position, and I am leaning more towards trails and stuff like that. You know, I've been building up my landscaping skills, working with rock. It was all geared towards wilderness trails, which isn't really a good position for me because you have to spend like 10 days out in the field. So I asked Sally, I was like, hey, Sally, like, what else do you guys got going on over there? And she's like, well, I do have, like, a wilderness packer position. And I'm like, well, tell me more about that. So, long story short, what ended up happening was I was jumping on this job, and it would have been, like, half trails and half packing stock animals out to carry supplies. And, I mean... Anybody who knows me personally knows that since I was a little kid, I've been obsessed with horses, but having grown up in the inner city in Buffalo and being a chubby, shy, quiet kid, there was not a lot of horses. Yeah. I wasn't a very confident person. I've changed a lot, and I've come a long ways since my youth, you know, and after all these years of just ceaselessly and relentlessly picking away at like what I want and just working on people to give me an opportunity to learn and prove myself, I am now going to be accepting a position as a Pack Stock Center of Excellence intern. Region 5, which is the forest throughout all of California, in the early 1900s had like hundreds of pack animals. Each forest, you know, is divided into districts, and there's probably like, you know, could be like 10 ranger districts, and each one had, you know, a string of pack animals that they would carry supplies out to the fire crews for archaeology, for building and repairs. And now those numbers are dwindling. It's a dying art. And in 2013, Region 5 started this idea of an internship to take the knowledge of the packers who are going to have to retire. You know, I mean, they're getting older and they've earned their rest, right? So, you know, they want to transfer that knowledge to younger people, and
This is awesome. I'm so happy about all of this. Is there a resource that people can learn more about? I only interrupt because we really do have to keep the video
you're
short.
right, I'm sorry.
It's probably going to take us about 2.5 hours per minute of video to upload.
Yeah,
So is there a resource we can put in the link?
There is a resource we can put in a link.
Okay, so we'll put a link in the description so you can learn more about it, because this really is fascinating. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to stay focused on the job
I know.
process.
I could talk about this for days.
I know she can.
I'm sorry.
She really can.
Maybe you should take over and wrap up this portion of how we came to this excruciating decision.
Well, okay, so the job that she's accepted, and I'm so proud of her. The job that she's accepted is a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. One of those she didn't even apply for it, and it just happened. And you take those opportunities. So I was offered the position, and I turned it down so that we could go to Weaverville and we could do this. Now it was we talked about this a lot. It wasn't like, knight in shining armor kind of. We talked about this a lot. I decided that a grade 7 for me was an inevitable promotion along my career path. It was going to happen. An opportunity to work a job like this might never come up again for the rest of our lives. So this was more important. And since then, I've been contacted 3 different times for grade 7 maintenance and masonry worker positions, including one helping to restore historic cliff dwellings in Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado. So it's going to be okay. And we are moving to Weaverville. And it's going to, we'll be tying this portion of the road trip up fairly soon in the next handful of weeks, but we're moving to Weaverville, California. And where my wife will be a PAC Center of... Wait, what is it again?
It's a PAC Stock Center of Excellence intern, and hopefully moving towards, after, I learn a whole bunch of stuff, I will be a master packer. Yeah, that's like the top-notch guy, so maybe mistress packer? I don't know.
We have a pretty big thing going on, and we're working on a longer format video for it. So we don't want to spoil too much, but we have a pretty big thing happening in the Spindrift Empire that's going to change everything.
Everything is going to change.
So, end of season 1 coming soon, and we'll talk to you next week.
And don't forget.
Well, yeah, don't forget. I am forgetting every single week to say it.
Yes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, folks.